Hey everyone, hello and welcome, Tony Bing here. For this test centre video we'll have a look at Silver Surfer. Now he is a hero that quite a lot of people have concerns over due to the mobility changes, so what I'll do in this video, similar to my Nightcrawler video, is after I've covered both trees, Power Cosmic and Starfarer, I'll do a segment, a mobility segment where you can see him zipping about this level to see what level of mobility he still actually has. Now there will be hyperlinks to each of these sections within the description of the video if you want to jump straight to that. But let's look at the first section, which is Power Cosmic, and this is more the range side of things. Now with this tree I don't see a great deal really being changed. The first skill we look at is Cosmic Beam Array, and this is just your basic ranged attack, and it also randomly fires it up to 3 enemies in front of you. The next skill we have is Subspace Rift, which is a ranged area dot, and it also provides vulnerability. And then we have Refracting Beam, which is a range spender, and this one will bounce and hit various enemies. And then following up from that we have Deconstruct, which is a ranged area attack. This is a dot, and also you restore Power Cosmic when you hit a deconstructed enemy. And then we have Electromagnetic Flux, so EMF. This is the skill that a lot of people use in their range build. It was originally exceptionally powerful, nerfed to the ground, and then I think it's been put back in an alright spot. No doubt once the patch goes live people will find ways of getting it to be very powerful again, and it may have to be adjusted, but we'll see what happens. Now the next skill we look at is Singularity, and this will restore Power Cosmic 15% per second, as well as doing a large energy packet as well there. And then we have Particle Burst, which is your ranged main spender, and this does bonus damage to enemies affected by Subspace Rift, Deconstruct or Event Horizon there, and it also pierces as well. And then the final skill we look at in this tree is Event Horizon. Now that is our signature, and this instantly refresh all powers currently on cooldown, slows enemies by a whopping 99%, and the duration is 6 seconds on that there. So let's now look at the next tree, which is more the board and dash side of things. That's the Starfarer tree. So with this tree we start off with the dash, which is board dash. It looks like the actual tooltip needs to be updated because it's making mention of each consecutive dash increasing the Power Cosmic cost. However, if you see when we're dashing, it's not causing any Power Cosmic cost at all there, so that still needs to be worked on. And I'm also hoping that they bring the cooldown a little bit, even down by half a second, just to make him feel like he is still the movement character that he was to an extent on live. But the next skill we have is Death from Above. Now this one actually restores a charge of board dash on hit, so that could be useful. It does however have an 8-second cooldown, which is quite long. Now next up we have Board Sweep, which is your main melee spender attack there, and it also does weaken. And following on from that we have Reconstruct, which is the opposite version of Deconstruct, not surprisingly. Now with this it regenerates health and restores Power Cosmic when you get hit, and it reduces the cooldown of Deconstruct by 6 seconds, and also Deconstruct reduces the cooldown of Reconstruct by 6 seconds when you use. And then the next skill we have is Subspace Slipstream. So this consumes all board dashes, stacks, buffs to increase damage by 25% and reduce Power Cosmic cost by 10%. And what it also does, importantly, is restores a charge of board dash for each consumed stack of its buff. So from what I can take from that, it essentially means you do your dash 3 times, you get your 3 stacks, you then activate this and you get your 3 stacks back again there. We will show that in the next section anyway. And the next skill we now look at is Temporal Recall. This is an irresistible stun, 2.5 seconds, and it also buffs your attack and movement speed there. And then finally for the skills we finish off with Repulse, which is a ranged movement attack, and this offers 50% movement speed to enemies, and that's a 4-second duration. It will also restore a charge of board dash on hit. So we've got this skill here, we've got Subspace Slipstream for the board dash kind of regen, and then we also have this one as well. So it'll be quite interesting. Let's showcase all this off in the next section, which is mobility. So with this mobility test, what we're really checking is to see that if, as a character, he still feels like he has the amount of mobility that a god on a surfboard really should have. It's not taking into account the movement, attacking build, or damage or anything like that. It's just purely, is he mobile? So let's find out. There we go. My dodgy kind of skills trying to do any rotation with him aside, it certainly does have a lot of mobility still about him. There is a fair bit of hitching at the end of the subspace slipstream skill. You can kind of feel that you stop for a second, and I'm wondering if that's deliberate to slow him down a little bit, because if you could spam that you'd be moving far too fast. But hopefully this particular section was interesting for anyone with concerns over the mobility part of him. As I say, not the movement build, but the mobility side of him. So let's now look at talents and traits. Okay, so first up we'll look at the offensive trait, and that is Power Unconquered. With this you gain a 3% critical hit chance. The archetype is Striker, and that gives a bonus to both speed and energy attributes. For the defensive trait we have Polarity Field, so this is a 3% deflect chance. The archetype is Tough, and you gain a bonus multiplier to both defense and deflect. And should you choose to use the melee skills, you also gain an 8% damage reduction as well there. Now onto the talents. Talent line number 1, we start off with Cosmic Surge. So Cosmic Beam Array and Refracting Beam, their damage is increased and they both gain additional bounces. So that would be this skill here and also this one here. And then following on from it we have Micro Beams. So Repulse, EMF, Board Dash, now fire additional micro beams when activated. And then finally in this line we have Focused Ray. So Focused Ray gains the following effects. Tooltip is incomplete, as you can see, 0 damage, 0 cooldown, and we don't have a skill called Focus Ray. However, when we activate we can see that Particle Burst gains a 6-second cooldown, so that's the skill it's referring to. So that's now a layer, so that could be quite interesting. But for talent line number 2 we start off with Resonance, and this increases your power cosmic generation rate by 50%. It's currently 10, that will pull it up to, as we can see, 15% there. So with a very high power cosmic pool, you really could be looking at some interesting options there about how much sustain we could get on skills like EMF and so on. I'm quite eager to play around with that and see how far we can push it. But next up we have Cosmic Wake. Leave behind a Cosmic Wake when you move. I'll actually activate this. This was one of the options that were available on live, but I'll show it off anyway. Looks really nice. You can hear the kind of crackling of it as well. There we go, I do like that. And it's a damage dot as well for 3 seconds. But the next skill or talent even, we have here is Cosmic Gift. So with this is good. It applies both guarded and strengthened to allies while you're in combat. So I don't think I've seen many, if any, heroes that are able to offer 2 buffs within the same talent, so that's really quite nice. Now for talent line number 3 we have Cosmic Deflection, which is when you're hit you gain Cosmic Shield, and that's a damage resistance of 2,500 roughly, which is 15% of my current health pool. And then we have Matter Manipulator. So Deconstruct and Reconstruct now share a cooldown, and Deconstruct automatically triggers Reconstruct after 3 seconds, and then vice versa. Reconstruct automatically triggers Deconstruct after vice versa. I like that a lot, ones like that, especially previously on Surfer I did feel a bit like I was running out of bar space trying to get them down to 1 bar, so being able to save a skill and still get the bonus effects of that is really nice. I do like talents like that. But next up in this line we have self-preservation. So reconstruct automatically activates when you fall below 50% health, and also it applies a team-wide effect, rapid healing. So if we look at this here, as well as that, you could really be offering a lot to your teammates. But that's two really good options. I really do like them, and hopefully we see more of them in future, especially on Mega Gear as well. But for talent line 4, we start off with Cosmic Radiation. So Event Horizon restores 15% of your maximum power cosmic per second and increases all damage output by 15% as long as you're in its area of effect, and it increases the duration of that skill by 2 seconds. That skill, Event Horizon, is of course your signature. Next up we have Dark Matter. So Event Horizon lasts 2 seconds but now has charges and explodes at the end of its duration for a large amount of damage. So we'll actually show this off. Take a moment for the charges to stack up, but the cooldown is 15 seconds and it's a maximum of 2 charges. And then finally in this line we have Into the Void. So Event Horizon now continually pulls enemies into its area of effect for the entire duration, and this will instantly defeat non-boss enemies. So on the likes of the Red Onslaught raid, the second section where you need to defend the generators, this could be really quite useful to take out all the various blue ads that do appear there. That would be nice. But next up anyway, we have Maximum Power. So EMF's damage amplification after channeling will now stack an additional time after channeling for 1 second. So we'll activate this and we'll show it off. You can see the beam get larger as the seconds pass. There's the first upgrade, and then there's the second. Really does look very nice. You can see all the kind of power getting pulled into it as well. I do like that. Now next up anyway, we have Unstable Singularity. So Singularity has a 50% chance to automatically trigger when you hit with a power, provided you have less than 75% of your maximum power cosmic, and that would be this skill here. And this pulls the cooldown up to 6 seconds as well. And then finishing off in this G, we have Flow with the Cosmos. So reduce the cooldown of Board Sweep and Death from Below by 1 second when you hit with a movement power. But let's show that signature there, I didn't forget about it. There we go. So that's quite nice having the two of them go off there. I do like options like that as well, ones that allow you to maybe use your signature faster or even use it twice. So that is nice. It's a nice little change. But overall, I hope this was an interesting preview for anyone that's a Silver Surfer fan and was concerned over the mobility changes and isn't able to get on Test Centre. There is still work to be done. I don't believe he's had a large past like some of the other heroes have. So if you do have any feedback, make sure you get on the Test Centre forums and leave it there. But thanks for tuning in once more, and I'll see you all again soon.